All right, let's open it up to the chat. Anything coming in?
I have a question, Beth, and I'm
Go
gonna
for
I'm
it.
gonna send this one Sarah's way. Are you ready, Sarah?
I've already seen it, yeah.
Okay, yes, we have
Yeah.
we have a betrayed wife who's asking, how do you detach? So
Hmm.
this is a great way to kick this off here. So Sarah, I'm gonna put that ball in your court here.
Thank you so much. Yes. Oh, do you know, between, webinars and Power Hour, and we've got a Facebook group for betrayed women, and, working with clients, we hear this question a lot. How do we do that? How do we detach? Firstly, I just want to bring to everybody's attention that detachment, it doesn't mean that you're becoming cold or distant or shutting down. It's about removing yourself or stepping away from kind of the emotional entanglement, the heaviness of the situation. And that's so that you're giving your nervous system a chance to actually settle. So instead of being in that activated state all the time, you're allowing yourself to actually find a little bit of neutral space. Okay. Because right now, what's happening mostly is that the partner's mood, their recovery, how honest are they kind of being, tying into what Beth's just answered. That's, like what the partner is doing is controlling how you're feeling. So that's keeping the betrayed partner stuck in that constant state of activation. So that's why we need to detach. So you begin to notice like the urge. So like how would we go about that? So beginning to notice, beginning to build awareness of what's going on. So for example, you notice that urge to monitor, to go into detection mode, to fix, to question, maybe even just to get like reassurance. But instead of reacting straight away, you want to put in a pause to give yourself that space. So it's not going to be perfect. I don't mean pause indefinitely, but just giving yourself that space before you kind of either react or decide what you're going to do. Okay. So, and then allowing that feeling to rise in your body. So this is where that bodily awareness really comes in. Okay. So feeling into that sensation and then not immediately directing at your partner. So not immediately needing an answer, not immediately needing to react. That's kind of where the work is, that pause. Okay. And this is where the nervous system awareness really matters. Okay. So just that pause before you speak, that pause before you react, we want to get to a point where you can ground into the moment, bring yourself back to the present moment. So that could look like slowing down the breath. I teach all my clients feet on the floor, maybe a hand on the chest. Okay, this is bringing you back to the present, bringing your awareness back to where you are right now. And it seems simple, but that really is kind of like the starting point. And it's really helpful to start to label what's actually there. So what's rising in this interaction? Is it fear? Is it grief? Is it anger? Because when you can name it, it takes away that desire to kind of act on it. It takes away that impulse. And instead of maybe processing everything through your partner, start giving yourself space to process first. Okay, so journal it, voice note it, get that raw emotion out safely. And the goal here is not to feel less. It's not to let your partner off the hook. It's to become less emotionally dependent on your partner to regulate you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, and in with that, you know, there's kind of like the mental side of detaching. Okay. So, stepping out of those constant thought loops. I'm sure, you know, people can relate, replaying those conversations, running through timelines, asking that question. And Beth uses this in every webinar, like, how could they, you know, over again. And that's not kind of you being dramatic. That's a traumatized brain, a traumatized nervous system trying to find certainty. Okay. But thinking your way into safety really doesn't work. So instead, you know, we want to start to bring it back to us. Give yourself maybe a set time each day, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes just to think, just to process, just to journal. And outside of that, you know, when your mind starts to spiral, again, bring yourself back into your body. That's where your power lies, bringing yourself back to the present, to this very moment. So movement, breath, maybe cold water, anything that brings you out of your head and back into your body, back into your bodily awareness. And, you know, you can remind yourself, I don't need to solve this relationship today. I don't need to solve this issue today to feel safe right now. And that, again, is where you start to take your power back, because mental detachment, kind of like detaching from those thoughts, it's not kind of denial, it's not denying what's going on, but it's reducing the harm that you're doing yourself by stuck in those loops.